To all my Chelsea friends. I'm hearing a lot of people complaining that was a wrong decision to fire Thomas Tuchel as your head coach and bring in Graham Potter as the new coach. Well, my own thought about the whole situation is this: is no doubt about it. Thomas Tuchel is an amazing coach. He's a great coach. His records have shown how much of an amazing coach he is. He's a coach with pedigree from his years in Borussia Dortmund to his years in PSG, also being very instrumental in signing Kylian Mbappe from Monaco to PSG, down to Chelsea. And Chelsea has won the UEFA Champions League, has won the Super Cup, has won so many trophies for Chelsea and so many things. So on paper and on result as well, Thomas Tuchel is an amazing coach. But why was he fired? Well, I think he was fired because the new owners, Todd Burley, I think they're going through a new direction. They're going to take Chelsea to a new direction. We all know Abramovich is a billionaire that likes to, he's one of the big spenders, like to splash money on big names, and there are quite a few teams that are in Europe that are known for high spending by getting the best players and signing a lot of money on them. Teams like Real Madrid and teams like Bayern Munich, and also Chelsea fall into that category of billionaire teams that like to splash a lot of money on the big names and big signings into their team. But we also know there are teams like Arsenal, like Ajax, that have a different philosophy entirely, and those teams are onto youth development building teams, right? So what it is are develop teams, players from grassroots, bring them up to senior level, and then they sell them and make a lot of profit from them. So from my own take is what I think is, I think Chelsea going forward, a lot of changes are going to happen. So if you're a Chelsea fan, I think expect a whole lot of changes from this new ownership, because knowing Todd Burley, he's an American billionaire that is very shrewd in business, and I think he's trying to change the culture and change the general philosophy of Chelsea as a team into a totally different direction. And bringing Graham Potter, it just shows the direction in which they are facing towards. Now, if you want to understand or know more about Graham Potter might not be a flashy coach with big name or a lot of accolades, but Graham Potter is a coach that has been tested and trusted. And if you see how his career started, you understand that Graham Potter is an amazing coach, and he's just starting. He's just going to be one of those great coaches towards the future. Graham Potter started his career more like kicked off in Sweden when he was coaching a team called Oyster. Oyster was in the fourth tier of the Swedish league, and Graham Potter was able to carry that team in 7 years from the fourth tier of the league down to the first division, and they played the UEFA Cup. In the UEFA Cup they played teams like, they beat teams like Galatasaray and Arsenal, just name a few. So imagine a coach carrying a bunch of nobodies, totally nobodies, and achieving that kind of fit. He did that successfully before, he now left for Swansea. Did amazingly well in Swansea as well. And we all know what he's doing right now with Brighton. Amazing performance this season of Brighton. Even last season of Brighton for first and in EPL, I think he's the first Brighton coach to actually accumulate 41 points. Even if they didn't do so well last season, which was his first season, you can see his building process. Now his second season, Brighton is in the first 5 in the league. And you can see how they have been performing. He even broke a Brighton record this season as the first ever Brighton manager to beat us to win in Old Trafford. Something that has never happened before. So it just kind of shows you the style of coach, that he is a progressive kind of coach. His philosophy is progressive, and he's showing his performance. Tell me, how many Brighton players can you name off here? There's still like a bunch of no names, but you can see the transformation that Graham Potter has been able to transform these boys to become, winners, So I think going forward, that's where the new management is actually going through. And new management always change. Change is always is inevitable, especially when it comes to new ownership. So I think Chelsea have a good future. So is Graham Potter the right man for the job? Yeah, I think he's gonna do well. He's gonna do well, and I think the idea why he's been brought on is because of maybe the projection that the new management have in the next 3 to 5 years by developing young talents. And there's also another part of Graham Potter that I really like. Graham Potter is, I don't know, to me though, maybe I might be wrong, but I think he is the only coach that has a master's in emotional intelligence. And emotional intelligence, to me, I think all coaches should be part of their coaching course to take emotional intelligence, because emotional intelligence is very, very important. And I'll tell you why it's very important. It's important because as a coach, it's not just about tactics. Or, you have your strikers, you have your defenders, you have your goalies, you have your midfielders, right? And everybody understands that every coach have a different kind of formation that they play, be it 4-4-2 or 5-4-1, regardless of formation you're playing. But to be able to get the best out of your players, you should be able to reach these individuals personally on a one-on-one. And emotional intelligence makes you understand how to just perform that fit. Because every player, regardless of how talented you are, someone needs to reach you to be able to light up that spark or light up that fire when you need it to be lit up. This happens. That's why they say big players show up in big games, because sometimes, no matter how good you are in a game, you might just be dumbfounded and, your mindset is, you're not there. You need someone to bring you back to life, mentally, to be able to psych you up, to give you that performance. And that emotional intelligence to me is a plus, because that shows that he'll be able to reach out players. And it showed, that he's able to lit up the fire in people regardless of how good they are. And he's working. So I think that's a plus for him too. So I think it's a good fit. I think it's a good choice. And, Chelsea fans, calm down. I think you guys are in good hands. That's just my take between Thomas Tuchel and Graham Potter. I hope you enjoyed my little analogy and what I just said. Thank you for watching.